Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly woo. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for your subscription, your likes, and your comments. If you're watching on Instagram, welcome. So this week we pulled Black Onyx. Its key words are grounded self-awareness. This crystal, Black Onyx, is all about a connection with our body, connecting to the sensations in our body to bring us to an intuitive knowing of what is the next best step, or what do we need to release and let go of. So this is so apropos for this week. We have a huge new moon on Friday. It's not the easiest of astrology, this new moon, but it is aligned with Spica and Arcturus, two fixed stars that are known for their benevolence, their angelic or spiritual protection and assistance. So whatever we start on this new moon, it's essential that we take this, what we call the dark moon of the phase, this week leading up to Friday, and let go, let go, let go. Now, in general, what we have going on in the sky right now is a lot of heavy earth energy. And whenever we have a lot of earth energy in the sky, it's always a time to really assess, how are you connecting with your body? How are you taking care of your body? Are you eating enough, drinking enough water, sleeping enough? All these issues come into play because as the pressure of the current moment builds, because this will build really through mid-November, and then we have a different kind of build until mid-January, it's just a lot of pressure. So things that you can do, because I know some of us are in situations where we can't exercise the way we used to or whatever, just simple stretching. It doesn't even have to be what you would consider yoga, but just being with your body and moving it slowly in a conscious way is going to create some epiphanies and aha moments. It's kind of miraculous the way that this works, and this week really gives us this opportunity. The essential oil that goes with this particular card in this deck is clove. Now, it's interesting. Clove and cypress oil are oils to use when you're in grief. But as I was looking over the meaning of this card and this crystal, grief kept coming up. That this crystal Black Onyx helps us to release grief that we have not processed, that has been stored in our body. So I don't know about you guys. I'll just talk specifically from my life. I've lost many people in my life, and there's been a lot of circumstances that I would consider to be categorized as loss. And there's no one and done. You don't just, purge all the grief from one person or situation and then it's done. It's like a spiral. And this particular year is a real trigger for old grief that needs to come out. It's like 2020 is this great cleansing function if we really listen. Now with grief, that's hard to do, so many of our, what we would consider negative, unhealthful habits stem from us running from grief, because in its essence, when we meet grief, it feels like it will never end once we start feeling it. But it's that sort of precipice point. It's jumping off of that cliff into that deep well of emotion and feeling that actually brings us to the wisdom within it. Like, you can only gain the access to the wisdom if you're willing to jump fully into the pain of your past. So it's interesting, we have to feel it to heal it. And so this week is saying, hey, there's some stuff still stuck in the body, old stuff, and maybe new grief too, as we shift with all of these changes and things ending the way we knew them to be. So this week, you guys, grief is up and it's in the body and it wants to be released. So like I always say, in any dark moon or at any time, salt water, sweat, tears, the ocean, and Epsom salt baths, and really dive into those feelings. So we pulled two animal cards this week, hawk and bear. I'm going to read what hawk here says. It's interesting. Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow, and hawk is a totem of the planet Mercury. Its keyword is messenger. Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. Now that's very much the energy of this new moon on Friday. But the question is going to be, what is impeding you from seeing the signs that you're being given? Now this Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Scorpio, which is deep. You know, Scorpio is depth. It's, you know, it's sex, death, and taxes. It's lies coming up. It's addiction. It's where are you lying to yourself? And you probably will have seen since the end of September, that like last week of September, there could be issues coming around that you're going to want to go over again about, I mean, really this keeps grief. What are you having to let go of that requires that you meet it emotionally? You know, sometimes we can get rid of things and it's a very clean slice and you move forward. But this week it's like, no, it's deeper than that. We have to acknowledge the grief so that we can move on and make space for the signs and messages that are going to be coming through this Mercury retrograde. And I do think that this retrograde is going to be quite beautiful. It's going to be making trines with Neptune, and this always allows us a moment to connect with spirit in a deeper way. And with all Mercury retrogrades, I'm always like, you know, don't sign anything, and like speak less perhaps, so that you're doing more listening. And when I say this, I mean, I don't mean suppress things that you need to stand up for or anything like that. I'm saying as an experiment to use this next 3 weeks of the retrograde as, when you are talking, like, what is the energy you're putting out? I mean, sometimes for me, and I've noticed this, it's really coming up, like, sometimes I talk too much out of just nervousness of not being really great at small talk. And in some ways I give my power away when I do that. I think this retrograde is all about like looking and reassessing at how you communicate, and does the way you communicate support your empowerment, or are you giving your power away? Then our second totem was grizzly bear, which is power is its keyword. So messenger, power. So I feel like when Scorpio is all about power, that sign, I feel like we're going to be taking back our power in the next 3 weeks. And that starts with how we communicate, what we write, what we say, what we read, what we listen to, and how we react to the way others speak to us, write to us, whatever. So bear, I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. Love and gentleness are my real strength. That is really, I feel like that's the whole message this week. Love and gentleness are my real strength, and the courage that it takes to hold loving kindness and gentleness in a world of polarity, in a world where everything is set up to have you oppose the other in some way, shape, or form. But these cards this week are saying, go deep within and find your power. Clear out so that you're ready for the messages that are coming. It's just really clear. It's interesting. This bear is catching a salmon in its mouth. And salmon totem is all about understanding that everything that happens to you is for you. And whenever birds chime in when I'm speaking, I always go, okay, that's a really important message. So everything that is happening to you, around you, is happening for your higher good, even if it doesn't seem that way. And our job is to find that, to seek out that understanding in each and every challenging circumstance. So, grief. If we all acknowledged how much we carry around, we would be healthier, happier, we would have better relationships. But it's hard to do. Grief is, and I'll link the video here, I probably already have, the grief video that I made, because so much of it has to do with understanding that we are all connected, and even though things pass on, it doesn't mean they're gone. It just means that from our 3D human perspective, we can't touch it. But that which we can't touch and see and feel still very much exists around us. And perhaps that's what Hawk and the Scorpio retrograde is going to be teaching us. In general, as we lead up to Halloween, or what we call Samhain in the Wheel of the Year, the veil's thin. And that means that our ability to perceive other dimensions, other life, is amped. And if you're sensitive to that, you're already feeling that. So our body needs care, and we need to fearlessly look at the pain we're holding, so that once it's acknowledged, it has the freedom to move out and on, so that we can make way for this amazing new moon that's really going to show us what we need to do to live that life that we truly want. And I believe that we all want a life of integrity, a life that when you lay down in bed at night, you're like, yes, I was a great person. I was on my path and purpose. I was of service, and I felt good doing it. So that is my wish as we go into this Mercury retrograde this week, and we go into this dark moon phase. Let go, let go, let go. Hydrate, rest. Rest is so necessary, and I feel like this is what Black Onyx is also speaking about, especially in Western society, American society. You know, naps and siestas, we don't really have that. But I want to encourage you guys this week, do not deny your body's natural rhythm. And each of us have different rhythms. And it's important that when your body is low on energy, you don't have to make a deal about it. You just need to go rest. Whether that's an hour nap or just a 15-minute meditation, or maybe just a walk around the block. The acknowledgement of the body's needs connects us to infinite spirit and our intuition, which is how infinite spirit works through us. So it's beyond the physical, and yet it begins at the physical. So thank you all so much for viewing. I wish you a beautiful week, and I'll speak to you soon.